Good morning, greetings and salutations. It's really cold here tonight. Last night it was 29 degrees, which is way too cold for me. That isn't when this incident happened, when my poop froze solid. I didn't even know it was possible. And it makes me wonder how I've actually lived as long as I have. I've done some stupid, stupid things. And I tell you what, this one had to be one of the very stupidest that I've done. Nah, there was no YouTube's instruction for this. So maybe there was, but I didn't know how to search for it. The story goes like this. I found the most beautiful place to boondock. I mean, it was gorgeous. It was red rocks and the soil was even red. I don't even remember what state it was in, but it was gorgeous. and so I decided that I was going to stay there because it was so beautiful. Now it was cold. But that's okay. I really don't mind the cold for a short period of time. And I had jackets and the boots, and of course there was no snow, but it was interesting because during the day, as it warmed up, the soil that I drove in on became softer. It wasn't hard rocks or anything. So there was always that possibility that I was going to get stuck. But back then it was like, well, I guess I do that now. But back then it was like, whatever, I'll fix it. So I decided to stay, and I ended up staying 2 nights and 3 days. And it was cold. As a matter of fact, it began to get really cold, like 25 degrees. During the day, it would heat up to in the 40s, which was fine. But at night, it got cold. I stayed there 2 nights, and I will tell you that on the second night, I ran my generator all night long because I wanted to make sure that I could run my heat really high. I mean, not that high, but, good. Because I kept my bathroom door open and all of the things, because I had some concerns that maybe at that temperature, my pipes would freeze. And especially because I stayed there 2 nights. So it was a stupid thing to do, I know, in retrospect, but I had a lesson to learn. Oh, I can't wait to get to Utah again. I love Utah. Thank you for your comment, Miss Peak Girl, and I hope you've never done this before. Not comment, but what I was about to do. It was beautiful. I stayed there for 2 days, no complaints. I had to, run my generator. Oh, thank you, watching today. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. Okay, so at the end of on the third day, it was time to leave. And so I left. And I knew that it was time to empty my black tank, because it was, you know when it's time. Usually about once a week. And again, I was probably in Utah. I have no remember where I was. I probably have to go back through my pictures to actually find out where I was. Although I didn't take any pictures of this incident, but I do remember taking pictures of the place I was staying. So perhaps I'll need to go and do that, but not today. Of course, I like free. So I looked around, and you worried about me? I don't have security cameras, but you know what? I'll put this on my wish list on my Amazon storefront, because they make these little cameras that are now magnet, and they're like only this big, and you can stick them right up, and they're motion sensor, and they hook up to your phone. So, my family has an opportunity to know where I am all the time, because I'm on 360, that 360 thing with my daughter. I don't know. She might look every once in a while, but now they don't know where I am. What state are you in right now? Well, again, I don't know what state I was in, but I like free. So I'm trying to find I'm trying to find a free dump station. That's just the way I am. So I found one, a Chevron station, and I went to, I tried to be careful, but this incident didn't work out too well. I went to the Chevron station, and there was nobody at the dump station. Oh, that was good. I've made a lot of mistakes in dump stations. Trust me, I wear my rubber boots and my gloves up to here every time. I mean, I really do. So I went to the dump station and I hooked up, I'm going to hook up the sewer pipe, and I hooked it up and I pulled the lever and nothing happened. And I pulled that was the black tank, and because you do that one first, and then I pulled the gray water tank, and nothing happened. Well, I began to figure out that it was frozen. My black tank was frozen solid. I have a 13-gallon black tank, and it was probably mostly full at that time. So I didn't know what I was going to do, but I got this brilliant idea. All right. A brilliant idea. If you have a black tank, you know anything about them, you also have a connection on the outside that you can hook the hose up to do a back flush. And so after you dump, you turn that hose on and it kind of rinses out, your black tank. So perfect. All I got to do is just hook up the back flush, put some water in it, and then that will make it so that it will empty out. Well, I did that. Actually, if I think about this correctly, I didn't do it the first time. Somebody came in and wanted to dump. I couldn't dump, so I drove out. I waited again, and I went and got behind them again. I tried it a couple times, now that I remember it. And then finally I said, oh, brilliant idea. I'll do the back flush. So I did the back flush. People were still lining up behind me. So I knew I had to hurry up and do this. So I went to the bathroom, and I, opened up the lid to see what was going on. And there was, just normal stuff in there. And so I hooked the lever and to flush. And when I did, it exploded because I had all that water in there on top of the frozen poop. So it exploded. It had thawed out enough just to make a mess. Everything in my bathroom was covered. I was covered. I had clothes hanging in there. Everything was covered. We were now covered in, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. And now we're covered in poop, and I didn't really have any, that was an answer, a solution. So I don't know why I didn't think of this before. I had to wait until it thawed out is basically what I had to do. And so, I have a bathroom in my van. I do. But this was beyond taking a shower. Okay. I really had to do stuff. I peeling my clothes off, taking everything out of the bathroom, all the clothes. I mean, I had some of them I had to take to the dry cleaner. It was that bad. But I ended up, what I had to do was wait until the tank thawed out. So I parked in the Chevron parking lot, and it was only like 50, maybe in the 50s. So it was going to take a while for it to thaw out. But I parked there and then every once in a while I'd get in line again, come around and try and see if I could get it to drain. And I was there 3 or 4 hours trying to get the black tank to drain. Now, I learned the lesson. Don't ever, first of all, I learned the lesson. Please don't stay long enough in any one place at that cold a temperature so that your black tank actually freezes solid. I mean, it had to be cold for a long time for it to freeze solid, not just, a little bit here and there. It was frozen solid. I could actually look down and see, and it was, that was another gross thing. But the other thing is, I was very fortunate that none of my pipes froze, not one. And I can't even imagine how that happened, because since then I have had a pipe freeze in maybe that temperature, but not for that long a time either. And it was behind my refrigerator, and I had my mobile mechanic do it and fix it, and it was okay. But that was the story of the black tank freezing. My water tank is actually kind of inside, so that one didn't freeze. But anyway, again, I don't know how I've lived so long without wrecking myself. I don't know. If you're just coming on, you just met me. My name is Pam, and I do live in a van. And on January 1st or December 31st, I will have lived in a van for 6 years. I live with my dog Matrix, who's having a nap over here, thankfully. And we don't stay in campgrounds. We boondock all over the United States. I happen to be in Texas right now because this is where I this is where I last lived, and I have family that lives here, and so here for the holidays. And so, yeah, we have some fun times, and we do get into a lot of trouble, but that's okay. Lessons learned. And now, and I said there was no way, I didn't know how to Google, to YouTube search, frozen black tank. But somebody now, if that happens, they'll be able to find my video and know what not to do. All I had to do was sit there. All I had to do was just sit there and let it thaw out. But I didn't do that. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on and watching my little van life mini talk. I'm on here every day sometime. I try to come on around 10:30, 11. But if I get crazy busy and doing stupid stuff, then I might forget about it until 5 o'clock. So whatever. My life is a mess. Anyway, that's a mini talk. I don't go too long on these. So anyway, thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow.